just thought I'd come on. I had been feeling too hot, so not been getting on. But just wanted to come on. I just wanted to talk about the Ukrainian attack on those Russian assets, mainly bombers. I think there was a bridge involved or something to that effect. And I thought it was ingenious myself from a tactical point of view. I thought it was actually pretty ingenious. The Ukrainians, I think it said they spent about a year planning this thing. Was it Operation Spiderweb, I think it was called? And they had assets in Russia brought in by trucks, disguised as something. I can't remember if they were small homes or something. Anyways, and with trucks. And then when the time came, they even had human assets in the country. When the time came, the top of the trucks opened up, drones came out and did what they were supposed to do. I absolutely think that was ingenious. I think it was an ingenious plan and very smart of the Ukrainians to pull this thing off. I don't necessarily believe that we didn't know what was going on. I mean, the president is saying nobody told him, and again, that might be possible, but I highly doubt it. I highly doubt that we didn't know something about it. Now, it might be possible we didn't, because we've been pulling a lot of assets and all this other stuff. But I would highly doubt that we didn't know something about it. We might not have known all the particulars and the details, but I was actually more shocked that the president said he didn't know anything about it than stating that, yeah, we knew about it. But then again, I understand that he probably has to say that, or it's going to mess up the peace talks. Because then Russia's going to be like, oh, well, you knew about it, you didn't say nothing, you about peace, but you allowed it. So I get it. I'm not for lying, but I'm just saying I understand. And again, he may not have known about it. I don't know, but I highly doubt that us and our allies did not know anything about that plan. And if we didn't know about that plan, the Ukrainians did an excellent job in keeping it a secret. I mean, an excellent job. And I think the operation was an excellent operation. What it does is it changes warfare forever. The Ukrainians have basically made drone warfare much more a much more preferred way of warfare. I would even argue that the Ukrainians have really brought drone warfare to the forefront. I would argue that, and not even just the Ukrainians, but this Ukrainian Russian conflict has brought drone warfare to the forefront. And now everybody's wanting drones. Everybody's wanting things to counteract drones. Everybody's investing money into drones. It's totally changed the way we do warfare. So it's going to be real interesting to see how the changes of warfare are coming with this. The Ukrainians have really done an excellent job with limited funds and basic drone platforms to do maximum damage. These drones that attack these bombers and destroy these bombers, hit this bridge and other assets, weren't the big expensive drones. They were small, cheap drones. And I believe the Ukrainians, because they say they pulled the human assets out before the attack, that means AI was used. AI was used to, use these drones and attack these planes, or these planes, assets, buildings, all the stuff they attacked. I think that it's think it's amazing. It was an amazing tactical maneuver. It was just amazing to be able to pull that off, get those trucks in there, have them situated where you want them. I mean, literally, they went all across the country of Russia. I mean, from the west all the way to the east. I mean, they pulled it off. They did an excellent job in this. And I mean, you got to give them kudos. Again, I'm like the president. We want peace, and there really shouldn't be a war going on. But at the same time, the Russians were the aggressors. There's no doubt. There's no way you can dispute that. There's no way you can say anything different. Russia was the aggressor. That's indisputable. And Ukraine is defending themselves. But at the same time, I don't think either side is really trying to really make huge strides or headway in peace talks, because the Ukrainians feel like, they're the victims, which again, they were the ones attacked first. And President Zelensky didn't do himself any favors when he came to the White House, demanding things from us. You were in no position to demand anything from anybody. It's by the good graces of the United States and in Europe that you have, and you've been able to do what you've been able to do. So that really messed him up and really changed my opinion of him, because even though I know, they probably could have picked a better candidate or a better president, he's not done too bad. So, he's really not done that bad. And so, I think he's trying to push the war along so he can try to get into NATO, which I don't think is going to happen. Russia's trying to push it along because they're losing so many troops and doing so badly, not on every front, but most fronts, that he can't stop. He's kind of stuck. He's stuck in the fact that, you're in a position now where how do you stop this and then justify all the losses and all the destroyed equipment and all this other stuff? So it's pride. Pride is really the hindering factor in all this. It's pride. Pride is the hindering factor of all this. And so, again, I think that the Ukrainian drone attack in Russia was genius. Absolute genius. I think it was an excellent way of conducting warfare without having to use people. And you definitely made a statement. You made a statement that, hey, I'm saying, we could touch you anywhere. It was an excellent statement. So kudos to Ukrainian armed forces. Kudos to them. Kudos to them. So, yeah, that's what I came to kind of come on and talk about. Something simple today. I just thought, like I said, the more I see it on the news, the more I watch it, various sources, the more amazed I am of how they conducted it, and how it's totally changed how we do warfare. And it's just, and I mean, the Russians are doing it too. And somebody had brought up that, both sides are doing it differently. The Ukrainians are going after assets, aircraft, buildings, or not building, well, aircraft, bridges, those type of things. The Russians are just killing people. So you could tell the difference between the two sides. So the Russians are just killing people, missiles, drones, whatever. They don't care. They're just killing people. Whereas the Ukrainians are being much more strategic and saying, okay, we don't want to just be killing people for people's sake. We want to go after assets, which is why they did the drone attack the way they did. They went after bombers. The bombers are being used to attack, deep strike into the country, or they can launch from way inside Russia without even the Ukrainian fighters having a chance. So they did the smart thing. They went after the bombers and those type of things. That's smart. So, and if the numbers are true, they destroyed quite a bit. They put a nice dent in the Russian bomber force. And so I just think it was, like I said, a real superior tactical military move. I really do. And it just shows that you don't need a whole lot of money and you don't need the best equipment. All you need is some ingenuity and some good planning, and you can really do something. You can really do something. You can really do something. The Israelis showed that many years ago when they didn't have the superior tanks, but what they had, they upgraded and used to excellent effectiveness. So the Israelis showed us how you can use older equipment and still beat up the bad guys with superior equipment. So the Ukrainians now are showing us how to use drones and how to use it in warfare. That's what they're doing. So I hope we're learning. I hope we're taking notes. I hope that, we're changing doctrine, because drones are the way of the future. AI is the way of the future. As I was saying, I believe Ukrainians have leveraged AI too, because that's probably how they launched their drones, was through AI. It wasn't through human means, because they said they pulled all their assets out before they launched the attack. So that tells me that they used AI, or they were pre-programmed. So, it's just an excellent tactical move all the way around. And as much as we want peace, and we're praying that the war ends, hopefully this meeting they had in Turkey, they do swap prisoners, and that they come to some sort of agreement. Of course, Ukraine wants all its land back. They want reparations, and they want to be a part of NATO. Well, they're not going to get everything. Russia doesn't want to give up stuff. They don't want Ukrainian and NATO, and they're not going to get everything. So somewhere in the middle, we're going to have to meet. But that's what negotiations for. Not everybody's going to get everything they want. So hopefully, both sides will stop being prideful, come to the negotiating table in good faith, serious negotiation, and try to get this thing over with. It's just that simple. So that's my opinion. That's my take on it. I think, like I said, I think, the president is going to continue to work on it as much as he can. Do I believe Putin's trying to pull a fast one? Yeah, I believe that. I believe he's trying to pull a fast one. I believe he's trying to make Trump look stupid. I believe he's trying to just continue it, because he don't know how to end it, because any way he ends it is going to end, Russia's going to lose. Because even though they're winning some of the battles, the Ukrainians are really winning the war. When it, at least when it comes to the public face of the war, should I say? Obviously, Russia has taken over land. That's winning, when you're taking over land and territory, Crimea and the Donbass and all that. But when it comes to the public face of the war, Ukrainians is got them beat, because they're making the bigger splash. They're making, they're doing all these unusual, out of the box things. So, and they're not killing people just to be killing people, where Russians are just killing people just to kill people. They don't care. So Ukraine's definitely winning the PR part of the war for sure. So yeah, so that's it. If you got any comments, leave them below. If you got another opinion on it, or you agree, or whatever. If you're a military person and you got another angle on it, by all means, throw your comment in there. Like, subscribe, hit that notification bell if you like the content. Share with somebody if you want somebody else to hear it. If you think what I'm saying is worth hearing. As always, be respectful. And I really appreciate each and every one. I've gained a few members. So that's a blessing. I appreciate them. I appreciate the people watching and liking. And leaving comments, of course. So I'm very appreciative. Again, one day I might be able to monetize this thing, but until that day comes, I'm just happy people are interested enough to even take the time to look at it. as I stated, I started this channel to be able just to kind of vent and talk and just give my opinion and my experience. That's all. If it turns into something bigger, it'll be because of y'all. So, and because the Lord wants to do something greater. So, in all of that, I thank you for your time. And until next time, we will talk again. God bless you.